And he didn't know, but he knew what I was going through. Only another veteran may know. So to my veterans, I think the first word is the hurt. There are 4 words, and each of them start with H that I want to share with you in a brief moment here. The first one is hurt. I know your hurts. I know deep inside the memories and the feelings of a lost warrior, a fellow warrior, a brother as we call them, or a sister. I know the hurts when, say, a grandchild or a son or a daughter is hurt. I understand that more than you may know because I've heard the last words of dying men in combat on 3 different occasions. I was an aviator, flew helicopters in Vietnam for a while and fixed wing as well. And I heard when they grabbed that microphone as they plummeted to their death, and I had to pick 18 Marines 4 times out of the mud who were dead when they said, "God save me, I'm dying." And I watched them. I understand that hurt. But the next word I want to share with you is the healing that comes to my fellow veterans after that hurt. You know, the human mind is an amazing thing. We have a tendency to block out the things that hurt. And we remember, and the healing process starts when we remember the funny things, the humorous things, the good things. When you walk through that door after that tour, whether you were shot at or not, and there's Mom's cooking. You know, you think, who? These mess guys that serve in the mess tent, sometimes they just didn't get it. You know, and there's nothing worse than an MRE. I don't care what anybody says, that food is terrible. And they were just nothing but sea rats from the Second World War, redesignated. So they've been around a long time when we ate them. But the healing process is really a unique thing. Can you remember the things that were funny? I'll tell you one story I remember. It's just as humorous as the day is. I remember it was like yesterday. I was in a helicopter. It was a gunship. There were 4 Marines on this thing, and we went in pairs. And we were out, lifted off a place southwest of Da Nang called An Hoa. I got to about 1,500 feet, and they shot that helicopter to pieces. It burst into flames. We'd just taken on gas. And as we were coming down, first thing, if you're a veteran, you won't ask this question, but if you haven't been around the military a lot of people ask me, did you eject? My friends, you do not eject out of a helicopter. That's like a banana going through a fan. It's just not going to work. So you're writing this thing down. My wingman was from Tennessee. His name is Mel. Anybody from Tennessee here? Have you ever heard those folks from Tennessee talk? It takes them about a week to say a sentence. Mel comes up on the radio, and I'll never forget this. It's kind of humorous even at the time. We're coming down, this thing's burning, and he comes up in that good old slow Tennessee drawl, and he said, "Jackson, that thing's really burning. I don't know if you're going to make it." Oh, Mel, just get on the ground, pick me up. I have not spent, it'll be 40 years since I came home this year, and I always remember that. And that's part of my healing process. The second and third word, or rather, is that I'd like to leave you with is the word hope. Why did you put on the uniform? Why did you serve? I see our freedom riders down here come up on those motorcycles, and they still serve because of the hope that they have in this nation that they defended and we defended. And these people standing behind me, the hope of a great nation, which we hope to pass on. The hope will never die as long as Americans put on the uniform. The last word I want to leave you with starts with H also. And it's probably the word that Marines, airmen, soldiers, sailors, Coast Guards, and their families thrive on more than anything else. The reason someone will fall on a grenade or roll in and try and drop bombs close to friendly, or go into a hot zone and pull them out, shooting in and out, and that is the word honor. It is our honor to serve this nation. And that is why veterans and people all around today, around our nation, are honoring our veterans, past, present, and future. My friends, it's more than just a magnet on the back of a car that says, I support the troops. It's helping get a job when they get home. It may be taking a dinner into someone. You still serve. It may be riding your motorcycle to cover a fallen warrior. Or just to say, someone in a uniform walking through an airport saying thanks, Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my honor to serve in the United States military. My honor to have developed weapon systems that continue to defend our nation to this very minute. What is the honor you've had? What is the honor you have had? You think about it, and I'm sure that long after the uniforms don't fit, you will continue to serve because of the honor this nation has bestowed upon you, but the honor you have had to carry the flag of this great nation. In closing, I want to just say this. I don't know what your feelings are right now. Maybe it's about a buddy you lost. I have those. Maybe it's about a hurt that you held and now it's coming back. And you'll close the door on it. You'll have the healing process. But always remember, you wore that uniform, and no one can take the honor away from you that you have had. It matters not. And I would say to you in closing, I was in politics, and they always say, God bless America. You got time for a little quick joke I like? Before I sit down and shut up and Betty drags me off stage and Shirley's giving us one of these. There's how many of your grandparents? Let me see your hands. You got grandkids? Okay, we got a lot of them. Well, as the story goes, a little girl ran up to her grandmother and said, Grandma, tell me a story. Grandmother said, sure, darling, hop up on my lap here. The little girl climbed up on Grandma's lap, and the grandma said, once upon a time, the little girl held up her little hand right there and said, Grandma, stop. And she said, do all fairy tales start out once upon a time? Grandmother looked at her and said, oh, no, honey. Some of them start out, if elected, I promise. This is not a political speech. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's all the same. In closing, I don't want to say God bless America right now. I'm going to say this. I want God to bless each and every one of you standing out there who wore the uniform, the spouses, in whatever capacity. You don't have to wear the uniform to be a patriot of this nation. You just got to be an honorable, honest citizen. I want God to bless you. So when He blesses you, He will